Hey guys, and welcome! It's great to be here with Death Before Dishonour Season 6, and we're here with the first qualifier. Should be some good fun stuff. And we do indeed have Showtime up against Evenstar in the first semi-finals. So we're going to have two semi-finals today and a finals. I'm certainly looking forward to it. We had a huge turnout of 36 players in today's tournament. Slowly whittled down to these two here. And the other semi-finals, I believe the two other quarterfinals are currently ongoing. So I'll have a quick look at the bracket in a sec. No. Cool. So we're talking about a rules dispute which came up, which is quite an interesting one. So the passive ability of each law of magic is actually activated when you try to cast, rather than if you successfully cast. So there's been a bit of a rules dispute on, can you cast a spell, cancel it, cast a spell, cancel it, cast a spell, cancel it, over and over and over again to consistently have that passive? And I've said no. I've made a judgment call on it and said you can't consistently just, cancel over and over and over again. Of course, you can cancel spells now and again, but I believe the passive ability is meant for when you do successfully cast a spell. So we'll go for that with those guys, and we'll see what they say. But cool. Just looking through chat quickly. Looks like we're all good to go. I'm going to quickly double check to see how the other quarter-finalists are getting on. It looks like Dacta is going to be one of our opponents, and they'll be up to Vulcanos to fight back NK Sacrodot as well, who's currently fighting out in the last quarter-finals. Should be some good fun stuff. So let's hop back in here. And it looks like Showtime is going to be going green-skin, so we might be able to get a war in the chat going for if you are rooting indeed for Showtime, representing DDG, it looks like, up against the VM's very own Evening Star. Hype! Yes, hype indeed. I'm very excited here. Nice to see the Blackthorne here as well. I believe he did partake in the tournament this time as well. Doing very well, getting through the first couple of rounds before getting taken out here. And Desert Fox as well, the man, the myth, the legend, is here as well. And it looks like he's going to be listening. Okay, so it looks like Even Star and Energize may have had this rule can't before, so we'll sort this out. Nope. Sorry for gaps. Cool. Just gonna have a chat with Energize quickly, see what he wants to do. As it looks like there may have been the rule break in the previous one. So guys, just going to sort this out quickly behind the scenes, so feel free to chat amongst yourselves. I do get this kind of sorted out. Just spam typing a load of stuff quickly and we'll get this sorted. No! Even Star, don't leave. Oh. Cool. Energize not home. Cool. We can go ahead as planned. Cool. Let's try and get Even Star back in here. Send him a load of messages, so hopefully he will be back. Yeah, you can ask. I mean, it's one of those things I'm not particularly fond of because it does certainly seem incredibly on border edge basically of the rules. So that's kind of my that's my take on it. I don't think that's what the mechanic is there for, basically. What's up, Prof? Or Professor? How's it going, man? Hamoud, great to see you here once again. Let's try and get even start back here. And see what he says. But I'm happy to have him back. It looks like he didn't really know the rules. It's kind of a sketchy one anyway, and I've only just made the judgment call for them. So hopefully he will be back in just a second and we can get this started. And it should be all good. Thank you for the replays, Dacta, as well. I'll certainly be having a look at those in a little while as well. Dacta is going to be one of the other semi-finalists here. Cool. I will send him messages. Even Star, come back to us. Let's pop him a message in the Discord as well. Boom. Yes. Yeah, that's what I mean, Dacta. That's what I'm explaining. No, I wasn't even going to ban him. He said he thinks it's unfair that he went through then, in that case, and he wants Energize to go through. I said he can still play. And we're just waiting for him to hopefully respond and get back to us. But yeah, I'll make sure to add that into the rules next time you can't do it, because it's an obvious kind of like bug abuse, basically. In my opinion. But sorry about the slow delay here, guys. As we do try to get him back in here. I'm not sure if we'll have to have someone take his spot. Give him a couple of minutes to respond. I don't think I have him on my friends list, unfortunately. Haven't played much of Even Star before. I know he is on a bit of a roll here. Nope, doesn't look like it. Let's see, he was down him from the get-go as well. So we may be able to get... Actually, Blackthorne would be in position, I think, to take his spot. If it goes... We kind of follow the trail back, basically. Blackthorne was defeated by Energize, and Energize was defeated by Even Star in the end anyway. So Blackthorne may have to hop in here and take his spot, but we'll have to see. But Energize is strong now as well. Cool. Looks like Energize got back to me. I don't think he can take it. So I think the Blackthorne may have to step up here. Because it said Energize won't be around for a little while, and the other semi-final still has a while to go yet, because we are waiting on one of the quarterfinalists. So I think we're going to have to pop Blackthorne in, unless Even Star does get back to us. And he's indeed typing, so Blackthorne, sorry, we'll have to hold off on you in a quick, and see if Even Star does indeed want to carry on playing. It's up to him, of course. Anyway, guys, should be some good fun. Sorry once again about the slow delay. These things do happen, of course, when organising live tournaments and events. Marcus Wallace, how's it going? Very close name to Marcellus Wallace there. Yes, watching and painting Ultramarines. Do send me a picture, man. Let's see. We may have to get you in here, dude. Okay, Even Star says he doesn't want to play, which is fine. I'll have a word with him afterwards. He's a little worried that, I don't know, really. I'll see what he says. I'll try and get him on stream. We'll see. I think he doesn't want to play, but that's fine if he doesn't want to. I'd love to get him back in here, though, if we can. Yep. And Showtime, chill there for a bit. Cool. I don't think Evenstar wants to play, guys. So, I believe, Blackthorne, you'll be up. If you want to hop into the lobby, bud, password is 123, and we'll get this first semi-finals on the way. I think Evenstar's just going to chill out, and he says he's going to watch this. He said he'd just rather watch, so he's going to be chilling out and watching the stream. But that's completely fine as well, of course, so... So let's see. I'm not sure if I've got Blackthorne on my friends list, but do feel free to hop in, bud. And you know you are in the lobby or in chat. So basically, there was a rule dispute in a quarterfinals, but the guy who lost currently can't play because he's out, and the guy who won, who didn't really know the rules, so I wasn't saying that we're gonna have to boot him out or anything anyway. But I think after it, he doesn't really fancy playing anyway. Which is fine. Basically, if you pop a spell and then cancel it, it still pops the passive ability. So, for example, you could have a Mage of Fire, pop Fireball, cancel it, pop Fireball, cancel it over and over and over again, and the passive ability to make everything kind of weak to fire will constantly be going through the entire battle, which can be kind of made abusive. Stormrunner, what are you doing here? Other semis is not ready. Unfortunately. Yeah. I'm not sure if Wizag Staff applies. If it does, then that's pretty crazy stuff. Cool. So, Mr. Blackthorne. Cool. So, I'll just send Blackthorne my Steam details if he can't find the lobby, and we'll get going. So let's take down this, take down this, take down this. I have so many ridiculous tabs open. And finally get to the Steam shortcut. Go to Blackthorne. Cool, Blackthorne, I've sent you my Steam friend code if you can't find it. Oh, you're trying to outstorm? Oh, okay, seeing if he can pop in. Cool. So let's add Blackthorne. Well, let's do that. Your code doesn't seem to be working, Blackthorne. Ah, there you go. I think it's because you may have sent me an invite anyway. Cool. So we've added him on. Let's get him in here. So, do my blind duck eyes deceive me? Nope, there he is, the Blackthorne. Cool. So we'll be getting underway now, guys. Well, we're going to be starting technically on time, because we were here early before, so the first 15 minutes have just been me rambling and trying to sort this stuff out. But we should be ready to get going now. Yeah, exactly. Infinite healing on entire armies, that type of stuff. It just seems pretty crazy. So I kind of made the judgment call, but you know, it'd be considered kind of like abuse of a mechanic, basically. Hey, hey. Showtime to pick and ban first. What a surprise you had. Yeah, Blackthorne did get defeated by Energized. And so Energized would have taken Even Star's place, but he is out currently, and we need to get things rolling. So Blackthorne's going to be stepping up. So it's bounced through a little bit here. It's going to be going toe-to-toe with the mighty Showtime. So can the Blackthorne's lives add up and let him claim glory? Or is Mr. Showtime going to be taking this one home? Cool, while they sort of pick some bans, let us sort out the scoreboard now, as it is going to look a little bit different. So let's check this out. And it's Blackthorne. Oh. There you go. Cool. So that is all indeed sorted. I'm just going to have a quick little peek at the bracket to see if we know who our other semi-finalists are going to be yet. But it looks like it's still Dacta, just waiting for an opponent. And we'll have to wait and see, but I'm sure they'll be done by the time this battle is underway. So it looks like the Blackthorne is going Warriors of Chaos up against Showtime's Greenskins. And on Troll Country, that should be some pretty crazy and hectic stuff all around. Oh, Dacta, that is a risky proposition indeed. Going down to have a little lay down, but setting an alarm, so hopefully he will be back in time for his game. Yes, it is a strange exploit. I'm going to message it to CA and see if they can sort it out perhaps for the next patch or something. Could be quite useful. But yes, guys, the wait is nearly over. The time for glory is soon be upon us. And this is the first qualifier as always, as in these Death Before Dishonour situations. We are on Season 6 here. But there's going to be 4 qualifiers. The winner of each qualifier will come together in a grand finals to go toe-to-toe up against each other and be claiming a prize. We haven't sorted out prize yet for this year, but we'll have to find out. Say know about it, according to Mr. Petersborough, aka the legendary Geese Howard. Hey Raptor, how's it going, bud? We're just about hop into Game 1. We had to have a quick switcheroo of players and the like. And we'll get underway in a second. Unfortunately, Even Star didn't want to play again, but I'll send him a message afterwards and we'll try and sort out a best of 5 or something for him to do on stream. As it feels pretty bad, him, you know, not wanting to carry on. Showtime is indeed ready. The mighty Greenskin War. And so is the Forces of Chaos. So good luck to both our competitors here. Should be a fun scrap indeed. Hello, hello. Yes, Neckbert is here as well. Yeah, got quite a few guys watching. Hope you are enjoying. I know we've kind of just been chatting for the most part, but the violence is soon to be had and the slaughter we shall revel in. Should be some good fun indeed. Troll Country is a classic map for my streams to start with, and that's because it's such a small map. People tend to just chuck themselves at each other very aggressively from the off, and it's always good to see. You are a meme. Hey, to meme is to win. In my opinion, the memes grant strength. So for the Forces of Showdown here, coming in strong with a greenskin pick. For his main battle line, he does have cheap and cheerful goblins dotted in with the much more elite, bad to the bones black orcs. These guys are absolute wrecking machines. We had to chew through the majority of Chaos Infantry. Have a chosen with great weapons would be a pretty fun matchup to see. We have a very large skirmish contingent as well. We have a mixture of Goblin, Wolf, Rider, Archers dotted all the way along, mixed in with some Forest Goblin Spider Riders as well. It looks like to protect them we have some Forest Spider Rider basic goblins as well. It's not the range variety, just the close combat one. They don't do huge amounts of damage, but they can certainly pin in the enemy and allow your skirmishers to escape and make that good value. We have nasty skulkers, the 8-peak loons as well to make that up the rest of the infantry corps. And then we have the big monsters. This is what we're here for. Look away if you are indeed scared of spiders, because we have 2 of them. The Arachnarok Queen on the left. Did she get a colour scheme change or something? For some reason I thought she was black and yellow. And we also indeed have a Goblin Great Shaman, kind of vindictive glare, sneaky stabbings, as well as a Gorkle Fix-It. He has Don't Even Try It and Crown of Command and Arcane Conduit. Really fun build. Now for the Forces of Chaos here and Blackthorne, we have Chaos Warhounds with Poison. It looks like 2 units, protecting a Skirmish Corps of Marauder Horsemen, 4 units overall. For Lord Choice, we have Archaon, the ever-chosen, leading the Swords of Chaos. What a true hero here. And he's coming in with Burning Head, Flaming Sword of Ruin, Cascading Cloak, and Fireball. And then for his main battle line, we have cheap and cheerful Chaos Marauders dotted along. We have some in the back as well as triple Chaos Trolls, or double, which are indeed armoured, and 1 unit of the Weird Spawn, Regiment of Renowned Chaos Spawn, for a bit of a hammer build. So this is some pretty interesting stuff. Looks like Archaon hit straight out of the gates here, although the Arachnok Queen, sorry, not the Archaon Queen, is taking a little bit of poke damage, but with some Spider Hatchling summons, is going to be able to force back the Skirmish Corps of Chaos here. And the Spider Hatchling is such a useful little summon to kind of put pressure on back line and chase away enemy skirmishers. So pop forward comes the Goblin Wolf Rider Archers, doing some pretty decent damage straight out the gate, trying to focus down the Marauder Horsemen. I'm a big fan of this Greenskins build. You take your skirmishers, you overwhelm the Chaos Horsemen, and that's going to make both the spiders a massive pain to deal with, as one of your best anti-large tools is out of the window straight away. Looks like some Spider Hatchlings have charged into the Chaos Marauders. It's not going to be a fun day for them, although they are just a summon and free to be wasted. And these Black Orcs in the centre are really going to pound down the enemy, unless they get counter-charged by the Trolls rather effectively. Ragnarok Queen is overextending slightly on this right-hand flank. Archaon does have the Slayer of Kings. He can certainly come in here and do some pretty whopping damage straight out of the gate. And the Queen overextending as well into Marauder Horseman damage. I think Archaon certainly wants to pop over here and have a little word, as it were. Chaos Marauders are falling back here, running away from the rather scary Black Orcs, who are trotting quite happily forward with the Overwatch support of all of their skirmishers. It looks like the Trolls now going to turn around and engage and try to do some decent damage, as the Weird Spawn as well do indeed start to push up. Vorkil Fix-It pops down on this massive skirmish corps, going to be slowing them down quite heavily, allowing the Ragnarok Queen to get in here and do some decent damage, and a fat Vindictive Glare as well, going down on the Ever-Chosen, doing some pretty massive work, as the Chaos Forces once again retreat, but they can only retreat for so long. Right-hand flank is going a bit better for them, and a big fat Burning Head does come down the middle, roasting Marauder and Goblin alike. Not doing too much damage to the Black Orcs. The war is popped, it fuels their veins, and they're certainly going to be going on a rampage here. Chaos Trolls will do decent damage up against all of these troops, but isolated like this, especially smoke bombed, they are still trolls. Their leadership isn't fantastic. They can certainly be forced off. And without the support of the horsemen, the front line for the Chaos is really starting to struggle. But in comes the Sword of Chaos, driving into the heart of the Black Orcs with Archaon as well. It's a Flaming Sword of Ruin being popped down. Everything kind of being thrown to the wall here. Now, Ragnarok Queen has taken quite a bit of damage. I think a better target, though, would be the Goblin Great Shaman. He still doesn't have huge amounts of health, and with the consistent throwing axes and maybe Archaon dueling, he might be able to bring down the mighty beast. And you can see Archaon going toe-to-toe with the foul creature here, doing some massive damage out of the gate. But we do have Black Orcs mixed in here as well, really starting to hammer home. And it looks like Chaos are really starting to struggle. However, Chaos Warhounds are certainly deleting enemies, as well as Chaos Trolls all around the battlefield. So if these troops can start to bring themselves over to the main battle line, perhaps there is hope yet. However, some Chaos Trolls have been forced off here, unfortunately. And the Greenskin Archer Corps is relatively happy and doing pretty damn well. Marauder Horsemen are starting to flee from the fields, and it looks like they will be forced off the battlefield completely. This Skirmish Corps is completely untouched, which is some pretty scary stuff all round. Chaos Trolls have popped in here as well. Both the spiders have taken significant damage at this point, but Icon as well has kind of paid for it in his own blood. The balance power does swoop in the Greenskins' favour, and it is looking a little bleak. However, there is Chaos Warhounds still alive. Fortunately for them, they are fighting Forest Goblin Spider Riders, so these Chaos Warriors may want to get over here and help, as those hounds, one of the few units he has left, which can chase off this Skirmish Corps. But fantastic, diligent play coming in by Showtime, shattering Chaos Trolls and just chasing these units off, guaranteeing that value and ensuring they can't come back to the main fray, because without the support, even someone as mighty as the Ever-Chosen cannot carry this game on his back. And it looks like the first game is going to be a quick git stomping by the Greenskins and Showtime. Go Chaos, they have more memes, indeed. Indeed. Yes, Hamoud, I'll speak to you about it before, but that is basically what I explained to them, is that I'm not going to stop people from cancelling casts. It's if you do it like over and over and over and over and over again, is where the kind of rule becomes a problem. Anyway, very well played to these two true champs here. Lovely to see the Swords of Chaos align with Archeon. Certainly winning the hearts of the people there, the Blackthorne, but Showtime coming out with a strong first game. GG. Awesome, we will be moving on to the next map now, which is one of my favourite maps, which is going to be River and Maxon. River and Maxon up next. Cool, let's update the scoreboard. So this is, of course, is a best of 3, but we have 2 best of 3s and a best of 5 to come. There's still plenty of stuff, and Showtime taking an early lead in this first round. Cool, just making sure we're all good on Discord with any questions. Looks like we are all good. And just going to check to see if the other quarterfinals has been wrapped up here. Still looks like we're waiting on Vulcanos here and Sacred Dot to finish up. And they will be meeting Dacta in the finals. I'm assuming their game has gone all the way to game 3. But not to worry yet. We still have plenty of time before we have to hop into that. With another round to go here. Yes. We'll see what the Blackthorne can indeed do. Yeah, greenskins are really powerful now. They have some fantastic tools. GG indeed. I think the Altar of Ultimate Darkness needs to be the next map. I don't remember writing that down, Raptor, but I'll have to flick through my notes and double check as well. We have a ton of the, the admins in chat today, which is always good to see you guys. Hope you're doing all well. Tom Black as well, representing Chaos. Nice to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing all good as well. Raptor is the meme. The memes grant him strength. So Blackthorne is going to go Skaven, banning Vampire Counts, and it looks like a Bretonia there. So Skaven certainly have the tools to deal with a lot of enemies, and banning Vampire Counts maybe just didn't want to deal with those pesky undead. I'm not sure who Showtime mains. I'm assuming Greenskins. I think this is his first showings on the channel. Looks like he is going Norska, and I tend to find people who play Greenskins very well play Norska very well as well. Both heavy kind of rush and swarm factions can certainly do a decent job at chewing through the Skaven. However, they don't have too much armour on their side, Marauders and Berserkers and the like, so perhaps a skirmish build from the Blackthorne could be the way to go. I would love to see, personally, an Eshin themed build, but we'll have to wait and see how this does play out. Black landing or Riot. Well, you can try your best, but the ducks will ensure order. We have a brutal regime of killer ducks. Yeah, ouch indeed, Desert Fox. For those who don't know, by the way, Desert Fox is a member of the Sith clan. We're trying to get their name out there a little bit more. They're one of the oldest clans. So yeah, if you see any of the Sith guys, feel free to play some games up against them. We actually have a replay on the channel put up today, about like 2 hours ago, I think, between 2 of their members. And if anyone is interested as well in the Sith clan, joining them, having battles with them, all that kind of good stuff, if someone could drop a link to their Discord in the chat, that'd be really appreciated. Any of the admins, you should be able to find it on my Discord, or if any of you guys are part of it, that'd be really appreciated. And if any of you guys are new, by the way, to the Death Before Dishonour format, it is 4 tournaments, or 5 tournaments technically a season. We have 4 qualifiers. The winner of each qualifier comes together for a grand finals, and today is the first qualifier. However, if you are new to the tournament scene, or an experienced veteran but just haven't played in it before, feel free to join my Discord as well. There's a link down below in the description, and I'll take you to my Discord, keep you up to date on my channel, but also will allow you to enter these type of tournaments, King of the Hills, all that kind of good stuff. But yes. Ooh, that is a great shout, Raptor. I'm a big fan of the Avalanche mortars myself. I can see them decimating some of the Norscan infantry. I think the best way for Norsca to play this, and it's a little bit stereotypical to say, but spam Skinwolves. Skinwolves I can see being perfect here. They're fast, they're able to swarm, they can take down I think they'd probably be able to beat Rat Ogres relatively comfortably with that regen coming in as well. And because of the regen, they can kind of take some of that long-range fire and still have the durability during the course of a whole battle. Still can't find a Dark Elf main to play against. I recommend Ice Power. Really cool dude. A member of Extreme Meme Team and fantastic Dark Elf player. I need to sec, my brains are a bit fuzzy. No worry, Blackthorne, I think he was celebrating a bit early. He was actually messaging me beforehand. He started drinking about an hour before the stream because he got knocked out, but didn't expect to be pulled in here. Yes, Hunter Javelins are a fantastic unit, and are certainly needed in this matchup, I think. They're just such good all-round tools to deal with anti-large. They can take down, as you said, any of like the nasty big bells, hell pits, all that type of stuff. Looks like they are good to go. And we get this second round underway. Now, fingers crossed here for a Sons of Anarchy style build. I would like to see a ton of the Doom Flayers, Doom Wheels, all that good stuff. We'll have to wait and see how these guys do go. I can beat them as Lizmen, but having issues making my greenskins work for Dark Elves. Yeah, my main tactic with Lizmen normally up against Dark Elves is just to outshoot them. And it tends to go rather well, but I haven't played greenskins up against them too much. Can seem pretty tough. Oh yes, and Ratlins would be great here as well. But anyway, let's look through the builds here. So, for the Norscan forces, we do indeed have a ton of Marauder Hunter Javelins, like chat was speculating. 1, 2, 3, 4 of those bad boys. Certainly going to be able to put a hurt on any large threats they do encounter. We have a ton of cheap and cheerful Marauders dotted all the way along the front line, with a couple of Berserkers in the mix as well. These guys are really basically lawnmowers. They will chew through Skaven infantry like it's absolutely nothing. We have double Manticores up in the skies as well to put pressure on the back line. Fantastic pick. We have the Miststalkers, Regiment of Renowned Familiar Warriors, who do indeed, of course, have Stalk. We have Norscan Ice Wolves on horseback with a Shaman Sorcerer of Death, coming in with a simple Spirit Leech and Scroll of Shielding, which is always incredibly good, especially if you have Wulfric on a Mammoth or something. But looks like we do indeed have Wulfric on foot, and he's going to be slogging it through the trees with some Norscan Warhounds in support. Massive fan of this build. I think that's a very good competitive build. And let's see what the Skaven have to counter this. We actually have a Storm Vermin box. This is insane. I never get to see Storm Vermin. And all of a sudden, 3 units rock up in one go. So triple halberds here, one of which is going to be the Council Guard. For the rest of the build, we have Clan Rats mixing with some Skaven slaves, kind of carrying in the rear. We have the Blight Scab Plague Pack as well. Regiment of Renowned Plague Monk Censer Bearers, who are massive damage dealers. Would love to see those guys go toe-to-toe with those Berserkers. We also have Warp Grinders in the centre pocket to try and snare enemies down, with a Hell Pit Abomination, Assassin, and Greyseer of Plague coming in with some pretty cool abilities. We have Scorch, Unholy Clamour, Bless with Filth, and Vermin Tide. And Warpstone Scroll and Arcane Conduit should keep his magic nice and topped up. We do have triple Night Runners as well, although it looks like double Night Runners and a unit of Gutter Runners with Poison. Now, I do worry for this Skaven build, simply because I think the Marauder Hunter Javelins are a pretty good counter to everything here, and the Berserkers should be able to do decent damage to the Storm Vermin, but who knows, we'll have to wait and see. So it looks like we're actually going to get a Spirit Leech on some Night Runners, which is an interesting choice. I don't know if that's going to get fantastic value, and the Shaman Sorcerer as well takes quite a hefty volley straight out the gate. Gutter Runners do a pretty disgusting amount of damage, but they're very short range unless you take the Slingers, but then the Slingers do a lot less damage, so, you know, there's a little bit of give and take as the early skirmish phase is going to kick off here. Both players just kind of prodding slightly, and this is some scary stuff. Norscan Ice Wolves are simply going to bounce forward as the trap is sprung, as Norscan Warhounds do appear on the flank as well. The Skaven forces need to get moving up front, or they risk losing all of their skirmishers, and it looks like that is just what they're doing. Good kind of counterplay, I suppose, from the Skavens, trying to restore this kind of bad situation. Gutter Runners are going down, but they're doing pretty decent damage, honestly, to the Warhounds due to the Night Runner support, and they're going to be able to get away here, so not a terrible trade, all things considered. However, it looks like the Night Runners were completely destroyed on this side, But Showtime needs to be careful. He needs to pull back here. Doesn't want to get caught out of position with the rest of his troops. And yeah, the Norscan Warhounds have been forced off, but they should be able to rally. So about half a unit of Norscan Warhounds for about half a unit of Gutter Runners on one flank, but on the other side, it went far better for the Norscans here. Looks like the Shaman Sorcerer is going to pop forward and just start the Spirit Leech, which is going to be probably pretty consistent throughout the course of the battle, doing some pretty decent damage, and of course Skaven have no way of healing, so Spirit Leech very good up against them. The Shaman Sorcerer of Death, though, is taking pretty hefty damage every time he does swing in here, and these Gutter Runners are going to be terrified and are running away from the Norscan Ice Wolves. They've seen what these guys can do to meager rats. They can tear them limb from limb and do some pretty scary stuff. Hellpit Abomination as well is just chilling out here. So Night Runners are going to be popping forward. Mist Stalkers have been revealed, but I don't think it's going to make too much difference. It's not that much long range, and Night Runners are getting danger closer to the enemy before deciding, you know what, this is a pretty bad idea. We're going to run away and try to escape. Greyseer as well is getting quite overextended, but it looks like because he wants to drop a Fat Scorch, very well timed, and does manage to clip a unit. Unfortunately, he was going for the double unit, and the one that would have done the real damage to did manage to juke and escape. Fantastic micro there coming in by the Norscans and Showtime. Looks like Ice Wolves are looping around the flank, and the great thing about going all infantry with Skaven, units like Wolves don't really have many good targets. I suppose he does have these skirmishers to go after, who are still doing great damage to that Shaman Sorcerer, who's really getting pounded down here quite nicely. Looks like we are going to see a summon of Clan Rats coming in to help protect their Night Runner brethren and start to slow down the advance and muck up the Norscans where possible. Looks like these boys are just saying good luck, have fun. Always good to see good sportsmanship. It is the one of the things we value the most here on the channel, including in all our tournaments and all that good stuff. Shaman Sorcerer of Death is taking a massive pound in here. Looks like Berserkers as well are going to be targeted by the Night Runners. Great Night Runner play so far from a Blackthorne, apart from the loss of one unit. He's got some really good value out of them so far. It looks like the Miststalkers are going to be pushing in to the Council Guard, which is not a good fight for them, so they are going to fall back here, which is very wise of them. And the Marauders going toe-to-toe with Storm Vermin. Should be interesting to see how they perform. Storm Vermin, of course, much more expensive unit, but Marauders are kind of more designed to kill infantry, as Berserkers do get a lovely engagement up against Clan Rats here. The Blight Scabbard Plague Pack certainly wants to kind of countercharge where possible. Looks like the Greyseer is taking massive burst damage coming in from all those javelins. Look at the disgusting damage. Boom, and the Greyseer could go down here and simply a couple of volleys. Needs to escape, but with two Manticores on the field, I don't think the Greyseer is too long for this world. Frontline engagement is going relatively good for the Ratsmen, but yeah, this is going to be a big problem, and this is the Marauder Hunters. Lovely counterplay. Blackthorne does summon in some Clan Rats to force these guys down, but Wolfric is going to try to slow them down, and they can chase the Hunters all they want. It's not going to kill them. Looks like the Manticores are now seeing that Greyseer booty. They're going to be coming in for the kill blade. Lovely play with the Seismic Snare of the Warp Grinders. Going to pin in one Feral Manticore, allow the Hell Pit and Assassin to do their dirty work, but this poor Greyseer is just being hunted, and another Spirit Leech coming down. Berserkers making short work of the enemy on the flanks, and a lovely surround now. The Storm Vermin were holding pretty strong, but Marauders have managed to wrap around on this flank. On the other side as well, they're actually doing pretty decent work, Marauders, up against the Storm Vermin. The front line, Council Guard, holding a bit better. But it looks like the mighty construct with the Greyseer on has fallen, which could start to cause big leadership issues for the Skaven overall. Hellpit as well as the Assassin trying to pin in these Miststalkers. Rival High Talisman has been popped as well in an aid to finish them off. And the Feral Manticore did get driven back as well for its troubles, but it looks like all the Javelins are pretty well and fine. And they certainly have enough ammunition to kind of throw into the Blight Scab, who have very poor armor, just 10. They're kind of wearing dirty rags and the like. And this Hellpit Abomination as well will probably be the two key targets. As you can see, the Blight Scab pack just decimate Marauders in the front line. They can now turn around and loop into these Berserkers. So certainly not all hope is lost, but it is looking pretty favourable at this point for the Norscans. Warhounds chasing down routing troops, using that mobility to ensure no one can come back to the field. Now, Stormvermin with Halberds are getting into the Hunters here, managing to push them back. It looks like even the Blight Scab pack as well, trying to hunt them down and protect that Hell Pit. However, Miststalkers are also a good counter to the Hell Pit, so if this Manticore decides to swoop down, they can certainly do some nasty work. We are going to catch a massive fat boat reeking down the lines there of the Council Guard, doing massive damage, and now that poor Assassin may have been able to pop a Hunter of Champions down, or no, his Assassin's Trophy down, but has been hit by a Hunter of Champions himself, and is in a very precarious situation, surrounded by one of the best duelists in the game and a Feral Manticore. Blight Scab pack doing pretty decent work. Looks like some of the hunters have managed to be forced off here, but I think it's a little bit too little too late. That massive burst damage early on onto that Greyseer I think may have cost the Skaven the game, so just nothing to really shut down the Mordor Hunter Javelins. They're such a good counter in this matchup, and they're certainly being put on show here today, as the Hell Pit is taking some pretty nasty work. He's trying to hold the line. Feral Manticore is out of control right now, but is on top of the good target. The Blight Scab Plague Pack is returning as well, and the Counter Guard are fighting. 20 of them can do decent damage to the Manticore, but with the second one coming in, getting a lovely charge bonus off, and the Mist Stalker surrounding, it looks like that is going to be Game 2 to Showtime, and the Norskans taking the first semi-finals rather quickly in good fashion. What's up, Wicked D? How's it going, man? Hope you're all good in the hood. And yeah, very nice early play, honestly, with the Skirmish Corps. Got one unit kind of caught out, but the other two did some really good damage overall to the Shaman Sorcerer and the Berserkers. And the box was holding, but unfortunately, with the Javelins coming in and just destroying that Greyseer so quickly, the leadership of the Skaven simply couldn't hold up, and they did indeed fall there. Thanks, I will try my best. GG. Great games. See you in the finals, Showtime. Tune in to the stream to see when you're up. Cool. Hopefully the other quarterfinals is finished. Fingers crossed. Although it doesn't look like it is. We might have to be waiting. So it looks like Vulcanos and Sacredot are still playing, which is very surprising. They've been going for quite a while. So I'll message them and make sure they've got no problems. Awesome, thank you Dacta for the friend code. I'll add you. And we'll get him in the lobby, and yeah. I'll message the other guys to see how far along they are. Cool, Carly, I wasn't friends with you already, Dacta, but we got you in here now. Okay, what I'm going to do quickly is hop out and see the other match quickly. Where are they? Vulcanos. Looks like I can't see them here. So hopefully they're on game 3 by now. As they should be. And we'll come back to them in a sec. So let's host up. And we'll get Dacta in here as well. Dacta, representing Extreme Meme Team. I believe he is the last Extreme Meme Team member standing currently. What's up, some dumb guy gaming? Hope you're doing good, man. So there's loads of ways to get involved in tournaments. To get in with mine in particular, feel free to join the Discord. There's a link down below in the description. And we can link you to other stuff as well. There's a lot of multiplayer Discords. But yeah, it's pretty much all run on Discord overall. So if you don't have Discord, I recommend getting it, as it's the best way to get involved in tournaments. So let's quickly fix the scoreboard here. So it was indeed 2-0 there to the mighty Showtime. But massive shout out to Blackthorne for stepping in here as well and playing. Had certainly some good games. And it was just one or two moments, unfortunately for him, where he eventually got dragged down. So we do have Dacta up next. Let's change that score actually back down. I'm sure his opponent won't be too happy if he starts with a 2-0 lead. And we're just waiting now on the other quarterfinals, which is, oh, literally just finished. Vulcanos, perfect timing, has taken his quarterfinal 2-1. So Vulcanos will be up next. I can see if, oh, there he is. Boom, perfect timing. Well done, both of you. Let's see who picks and bans. So it looks like it is indeed going to be Dacta to pick first. Dacta to pick and ban. Maps are... we have Tooth, Grass, Hill. My quick typing is horrendous, but... Southern, Chaos Wastes, and... Hierot Ridge. Kill. So let's pop down here. Toothgrass Hill, we go. And then for the finals, we are going to have Ashenhall, Schwesterhafen, Alpine Ridge, Hill of Bone, and Valley of Thieves. No Autumn of Darkness. Coward. You coward. Raptor has gotten to you. So we have RTK versus Extreme Meme Team. Should be some pretty good stuff. Oh, there's a Fox. Absolute true lad here. Has offered to help out. Come over here. Was who asked the questions now. But helping people train up, which is always good to see. What's up, Mario? Horned Rat preserve us. Indeed, the Horned Rat did fall, but great work by Blackthorne to step in here a little bit late as well, a little bit drunk. So perfect. Perfect way to fight, in my opinion. Yes, Leo. How's it going, bud? Quack, quack. Hope you're doing all good, my bud dude. The top secret goose hammer. Goose hammers where all the gooses lie, scheming against the ducks in a plan to overthrow us. Looks like Dacta is going to be going Empire, Balin Dowie and Counts, Vulcanos, who I believe does indeed have a YouTube channel himself. I think I played a tournament on his channel, actually. Is going to be going Norska here. So feel free to check his stuff out as well. Make some good stuff. Good mic player. Caster and streamer all round. But should be some cool stuff. Dacta is a master Wood Elf player, so it looks like he's keeping them in the back pocket here. They're not a particularly good faction to pick with initially, because they have so many counters, so probably wait and see if he can use them in round 2. Or whip them out in round 3 if he really needs to. But Empire vs Norska is an absolute classic showdown. Yes, if you're trying to learn the meta and stuff, Noob Hammer is a really cool Discord you can join. And they have training nights on a kind of regular basis as well. Oblivion John, how's it going? I've seen a lot of your comments on my videos. Looks like you've been enjoying them, which is good to hear, man. Hope you're all well. And enjoying the stream. It took us a little while to get started, but we are underway now, and we're into the second semi-final. The winner of this will be taking on Showtime in the best of 5 finals, which is some pretty scary stuff. Did I add Vulcanos' name? I did not. Alright. Let's add him. Vulcanos. Oh, I spelled that right. Vulcanos, yes. Cool. Do you craft beer, Fawn? Oh, hope he does. I got a friend who crafts beer. It is ridiculously strong, but very nice. Rubber duck, drunken brawler confirmed. It's the best way to fight. Got to be a drunk dwarf. Yes, I agree with Raptor. Blackthorne certainly needed to have a few more shots to really gain his power. Thank you for reminding me. I actually didn't see your message, Geese, but I have changed it now. Yes, the ducks do hold the score. So this layer was actually made by a God, I'm going to butcher his name. Let me check. I don't want to get this wrong because he's a super lovely dude who designed this completely for free. I believe it's Malverde. Let me double check. I don't want to butcher it. I did say it in some of the other streams we've used these. But yeah, Malverde of Clan BBB. Super nice dude. Yeah, just said, oh, hey, man, do you want an overlay? Because my overlay was incredibly sketchy and bad, basically. Keeping scores. It was this horrific... basically, it was a website which I could just stream to OBS, and then OBS would pick it up so I could change the scores and stuff. But yeah, so he's very kindly designed this really cool overlay. It tasted like a mix of mint and spit. Oh god. So yeah, we've got a lot of people watching. Hope you guys are enjoying. If you are, feel free to give the big old stream a thumbs up. YouTube really struggles to push out streams, like to advertise them compared to videos for some reason, so it certainly does help push it out to more people. And if you're new, feel free to subscribe as well for more glorious Total War content. As I think about like 60% of people who watch me don't subscribe, or like 70%, but they come back. It's really weird. YouTube was like messaging me about it. It's strange. But anyway, on to the actual kind of exciting stuff, which is, of course, the battle here. Dacta coming with a swordsman front line, something you don't see terribly often due to spearmen holding potential. We have Sigma Sons as well in the front line, protecting dearly of their lives, the silver bullets. Regiment of renowned handgunners, such a powerful unit. Handgunners with stalk and really decent damage output are always a bit of a favourite. We do have double huntsmen as well, and I watched a video recently by the Gobbo King on huntsmen, and I kind of agree with him. I think against, not on all matchups, but I think overall they're a better unit than handgunners due to their firing arc and spread out formation, bonus versus large and all that good stuff. We have spearmen to back up the kind of, not really box build, but semicircle build, and then a ton of knights. We have Knights of the Blazing Sun dotted all the way along the back line, which is bad to the bones and pretty hardcore. Looks like Dacta is going to concede the high ground. Obi-Wan is not pleased with you, Dacta. We have an Amber Wizard as well, Manticore Summon and Flock of Doom, and Vulcanos the Grim coming in with, of course, all his buffs, banishments, healing, all that good stuff. And he's roaring on at the forces of the Empire. Look at that moustache, look at it, the glory. If only a man's shy could have such a fantastic moustache. Now for the forces of Vulcanos here, it does come with a large skirmish corps. We have triple Marauder Horsemasters, or horsemen mixed in with some horsemasters. In fact, we have 4 of them. We have Beast of Tashnar as well as some Norscan Warhounds to protect them. And for the main battle line, we have cheap and cheerful Marauders dotted all the way along. So an absolute bucket ton of them, including the Regiment of Renowned version, the Iron Horn Marauder, or Ice Horn Marauder. We have these much cooler axes. And we also indeed actually have Norscan Ice Trolls, so 2 of them can be trying to saturate on top of the Marauders and punch through the enemy formation. Of course, have Wulfric the Wanderer on top of his mighty Mammoth coming in with his Sea Fang and 100 champions. And then we have a Shaman Sorcerer of Death with Fate Abuna and Spirit Leech. So it looks like the Empire not bothered at all about the high ground. Like, you know what, we don't want to rush up. Knowing the Norscans much better in hand-to-hand, probably going to try and rush the hill as quickly as possible. We're going to take the low ground, reposition, and then slowly push on as the Norscans kind of wave in from up here. Good luck, have fun from both players, and it looks like the Empire are slowly starting to pressure as Vulcanos does ready his Horsemasters and gets a little aggressive here. Most of his troops quite happily sitting on top of the hill for now, getting in position. See, Marauders are still intervening then. Something big hit these Marauder Horsemasters. Must have been a volley from the silver bullets, I think. Looks like Knights of the Blazing Sun are being forced back, and Huntsmen are a really good counter here as well to the Marauder Horsemen. Of course, that bonus versus large up against the low armor values of the Horsemen is going to do some pretty disgusting damage all round. Knights of the Blazing Sun as well, simply going to be falling back, trying to get out of range of those nasty throwing axes, which are one of the key targets for the Huntsmen, of course. So, more shots coming in, silver bullets as well unloading, just a ton of free damage so far. Norscan's sign, you know what, we're going to have to come down from the hills, but going up against this swordsman front line is really going to be quite decent for the Norscan Ice Trolls and Wulfric the Wanderer, unlike Spearmen, who will be able to hold for a while. These guys will be crumped pretty hard, but the worry for the Trolls here is going to be those Huntsmen and silver bullets doing some damage. Of course, Knights of the Blazing Sun as well can cycle charge the enemy front line, run over Marauders pretty heavily. Going straight down the gullet sometimes is the best way to go. And these are horsemen. There's such a huge investment in cavalry, is really struggling to kind of find a home at this point. Probably needs to either wrap all the way around or wait until the front line is engaged and try and overwhelm the enemy, force the huntsmen to pick between them or the ice trolls, and put pressure on as well with the hounds at the same time. Marauders charging in here, looking for fame and glory up against the Sigma Suns, but I can see in the distance the Knights of the Blazing Sun, and this was to be expected. They're going to be following their Lord Commander, Vulcanos the Grim, into the Maws of Death itself, and destroying some Marauders quite nicely, but a lovely boat, oh no! It catches 2 units, pretty much wiping out Sigma Suns and the Silver Bullets in one strike. Fantastic cast there, coming in by Wulfric, straight up to 99 kills, and the centre pocket of the Empire forces have broken. This is some pretty worrying stuff, but elsewhere, Vulcanos is doing some pretty decent work, catching 2 units of Marauders and hunting them down. These hounds need to get moving now and need to slip into the gaps, because Wulfric is going to ham here, charging into the enemy lines, but he needs to be careful as he's getting shots from both sides. Really needs the help from those hounds as Volkmar, the Manticore and the Huntsman coming in an assassination attempt. Well, the Horsemen diving into close quarters here, trying to put pressure on the Huntsman. They are getting caught up on Swordsmen and Spearmen, but as long as they can shut down the Huntsman, I think the Norsemen will be in a decent position. Knights of the Blazing Sun, though, darting around the battlefield. Looks like some of them have taken some pretty decent damage as well. And the Norsemen Warhounds did put pressure on the Huntsman, but they decided to fall back from the Swordsmen. I think you just need to get in here as much as possible. Wulfric the Wanderer is coming into battle, probably wants to drop his 100 champions on Volkmar and really allow the Ice Trolls to do some decent work. Fortunately, that poor Skinwolf Werekin is completely surrounded now, but at least he's holding back a lot of enemies, and he's hopefully keeping those Norscan Ice Trolls in a good order as well. Silver Bullets have returned to the fray, and 29 of them is certainly no joke, as well as a ton of Huntsmen on this right-hand flank. Unleashing hell upon Wulfric is certainly going to help Volkmar kind of punch above his weight here. Manticore is helping dispatch some Norscan Ice Trolls, but they should be able to return to the field. Shaman Sorcerer of Death is still going strong as well. Looks like a fat Spirit Leech has come down, but Wulfric is really struggling here. There's a lovely push and a ton of pressure from the Norscans in the early game, but it looks like a lot of that kind of pressure was forced off by good Knight play overall by Dacta. Bouncing around, you can see the Knights have been in the thick of it, taking huge amounts of damage, but a lovely boat comes down once more. Nowhere near as deadly as the last one. Still forcing off some swordsmen and doing some decent work. But I fear Wulfric basically has nowhere to go at this point. There's so many huntsmen left on the field, and with the Skinwolf Werekin pinned in, they're really struggling to kind of hunt down these huntsmen. But Ice Trolls have returned, and in comes the second wind from the Norscans. And once this Manticore summon does disappear, the balance power will probably be relatively even, but Wulfric is just taking an absolute pounding at this stage, and I think he may go down. And without him to keep the Norscan forces in line, I think they could be in a little bit of trouble. Norscan Ice Wolves do find a lovely engagement here, though, pinning in Huntsmen, breaking them down. They can easily do good work to Knights of the Blazing Sun as well, who have eaten a Fate of Yuna here. The Wulfric desperately run away, still 1,600 health though, don't be fooled by his health bar. But in the back line, Knights of the Blazing Sun are helping to clear up some Horsemen, who were feasting on the Silver Bullets. Silver Bullets still wavering here. There's some more Beasts of Tanational left around, and that'd be a good unit to get into the back line, because even if the Knights countercharge, they may still struggle, but the Ice Trolls are regenerating this entire time. Still huge model counts on both of them, pinning in a lot of troops, and these guys can certainly do some decent work all round. Of course, they do come with that weakness to fire, so Knights of the Blazing Sun may be able to take them down. But I'd love to see a 100 champions by Wulfric here on top of Volkmar and allow the Norscan Ice Trolls to really pound him down. You don't have to use 100 champions, only kind of when Wulfric's going in for the kill. If you are looking for backline harass, Knights of Blazing Sun may return here, but there's nothing in the backlines anymore for Norska. The Beasts of Tashnar need to bounce around. Knights of Blazing Sun are still going strong as well, which could cause big problems as the Skinwolf Werekin tries to duel the Amber Wizard, but is completely surrounded and outclassed here. There's decent ammunition left as well on the Huntsman. A lovely boat comes in. His boat play has been really good this game from Vulcanos, up to 247 kills. But Norscan Ice Trolls do indeed shatter, and it looks like the back of the Norscan forces was broken. But what a game. Crazy stuff. That opening engagement from Wulfric was insane. Just obliterated 2 of the most expensive units here. Well, not most expensive, but pretty pricey. Sigma Suns are unbreakable, and the Silver Bullets did come back and still contribute, but nowhere near as much as they would have. Lovely crossfire from Silver Bullets and Huntsmen to really kind of neuter Wulfric effectively, but I think the MVPs there were the Knights of the Blazing Sun. They were bouncing all round the battlefield, clearing up all of these Horsemen and Wolves, which were putting pressure on the Huntsmen, and because of that, it allowed the Huntsmen to really outduel Wulfric and drag him down, which was pretty key there. Very well played to both of the combatants. I did not catch the banishment. I missed it. I saw it in the distance. But we will be moving over to the next map now, which is going to be Southern Chaos Wastes. We're of course using just basically competitive maps, which are considered generally balanced. So let's quickly update scoreboard, as Dacta does indeed take an early lead here, which is going to be that one. Still getting used to using all this type of stuff. But bam, there we go. Perfect. The Mighty Magic Duck does indeed hold the number 1. Southern Chaos Wastes is up next. Competitive maps are boring. What's up, Viking? How's it going, bud? I haven't seen you in a while, man, actually. Hope you're doing all good. Looks like the Tash will win the day. Yeah, those knights did some fantastic work. But yes. Oh no! Was the Steam stuttering for you guys? No, did it hold up? Maybe try refreshing it. I can quickly check if it's fine on my side. Yeah, there are some more maps that I'm going to try to kind of whittle in, even if they're not fully competitive. I do mix up every now and again. For example, Ashen Hall's become one of my favourite maps. It has a big bug on it, but it's fine. So Vulcanos is going Vam Pirates, banning Dowie and High Elves. 2 really good bans, considering the best counters for Undead in general tend to be Dowie and Empire, and of course Dacta's already played Empire, so banning the High Elves is a good close third as well. And Dacta is going to Wood Elves. We are going to be seeing some Wood Elf action, which is always good fun to see. So let's quickly check the Discord, make sure we're all good, and no kind of out-of-date questions. Hey, some dumb guy I saw you join, that's his name, probably not just randomly insulting someone, has joined the Discord. Welcome, man. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to check the stream strength quickly. Yeah, seems all fine on my end. So, it's saying it is at least, but who knows. So, yeah, hopefully it's all good for you guys. Should be going strong, I think. All good on your end, perfect. Okay, it looks like it might have been a couple of people then. What's up, GoTo? How's it going? Hope you're all good, guys. I know I say a lot, and it gets probably a bit bugging, but feel free to give the video a big old thumbs up, as it does kind of push it out to more people, and all that good stuff. Now, if you do want to support the stream, or the channel in any other way, there is links down below to donations, Patreons, we have super chats, all that kind of crazy stuff. But at the same time, you guys being here is honestly what it's all about. And just cool to chill out with you guys and enjoy this pretty damn awesome game. It's held up so well over time. I always get blown away when I actually zoom in and look at units when I'm looking at replays. I'm like, god damn, they really spent so much time on the modelling and animations, and it's kind of such a shame that we have this overarching view all the time where we don't get to see them. It would be kind of cool if you could, do a first-person, control one of the men in the build as you watch everything kind of carnage go around you. No, who's leaving? Raptor, thank you for dropping a link to the Discord. Trade Trolls for Horsemen for Double Famir. Double Famir are pretty damn good. I think the Horsemen are a good pick as well. But they didn't really have like the best of time of it in that game. But I think Horsemen are always pretty damn good. But yeah, Trolls, I don't know, some people love them, some people hate them. I think they're just one of those units which people are a little bit mixed on. Thank you, Raptor. You're a true champ as always. The shamiest shame would be Total War Warhammer 3 sucking. Oh, I don't know what I would do, Leo. I really don't. Because I came in partway through Total War Warhammer 2. I really want Warhammer 3 to be great. I really do. I honestly say I haven't missed a step yet, really. Yeah, there's a few things they have to patch and all that stuff, but overall they've really nailed Total War Warhammer. I'm big fans of what they do, so obviously, consider I have a YouTube channel based around it. So yeah, I'm pretty confident. The only problem with it is I don't know how popular it's going to be selling-wise, because I don't really have any huge factions left to bring. Obviously, Game 1, you have Empire, Dwarfs, Counts, all this kind of crazy stuff, Greenskins. which are like classic factions. And to Warhammer 2, you have some of the rest of the big hitters. You have all the elves coming in. You have Lizardmen, one of the most popular factions. Skaven, all this kind of cool stuff. So, yeah, we still have Rat Ogres and Demons, but apart from those two, I think they're the only two big ones left off from Tabletop. I think Chaos Dwarfs will be very popular as well. There's potential for Hobgoblins, and there's a few other factions as well, like Araby. If they do Araby, I really want CA to work with Games Workshop to really do them heavily, as I think their models are incredibly 90s, and they came out in a very different time, very different date. They're quite dated and stuff, and I think they'd have to change it quite a bit to make it fit in personally. So I think they need to change that a little bit, but there's still, potential for them. Kislev could certainly become a faction as well, I think, in Game 3. Army combat engagements have always mattered the most in Total War. Oh, that's such a fucking geese. Like what you're seeing? Why not leave a like? Oh, that would be so cool, Raptor. I'm praying we get a War Dancer rush. War Dancers are so badass. Yeah, army composition and engagements does matter a lot. Like, micro is very important with certain factions, less important with others, but micro is always very good as well. The good thing about Warhammer in particular is the amount of variety you can have. Like, you can play almost every faction in like a ridiculous number of ways. There's a few factions which I think get a little bit kind of tied down, but they're slowly getting kind of sorted out with DLCs to improve them, such as the Wood Elves, who do have one or two ways of playing, but hopefully the new DLC will bring some new light to them, which we'll be getting that in December, which, isn't that far away. I was hoping for a November release, because it probably would have come out at the start of the month, so I would have done like a big birthday / Wood Elf release stream, which would have been really awesome. But, it's still going to be called kind of December. We can do like a Christmas-themed one, which could indicate that perhaps it's going to be more of a Winter Elves kind of colour scheme, which would be awesome. Imagine the elves would all in like white, snowy, like camo gear. That would be something special. And perhaps they could have a themed campaign around the winter, and Orion's not there to protect them, obviously, because he fights in the summer, so they're having to make do. But who knows? Let's rock and roll. Good luck to both these champs. Yeah, micro always matters, but it's not like the be end and end all, but you need some good micro still. Yeah, there's a few bugs, but like nothing game-breakingly huge, luckily, or at least not that the like tournament community can't kind of sort out. Ogre Kingdoms is going to be awesome. Yeah, Raptor saying he does like ice stuff. There's a really cool replay of Raptor actually with I'm pretty sure it was you, Raptor, with the full ice build. Anyway, here we go. Let's have a little look at Dacta's build. And it is indeed going to be a rush build. Fortunately, no War Dancers for us, but we do have a bucket ton of Dryads dotted all the way along. These guys are relatively fast. They do magic damage as well, so they can even swarm units such as the Shade Wraith Gunners. So it looks like a nice little swarm here. We do also have a Branch Wraith with Earthblood and Pendulum. We have the Glade Lady, of course, coming with net, arrows of kernels, and she's on horseback, which is pretty decent in this matchup, I think. There's not necessarily a need for a Great Eagle or a Mighty Dragon. And we have a ton of scouting units here. So we have a load of Deepwood Scouts, no Shiver Shards, unfortunately. Swift Shiver Shards, one of my favourites. Not particularly great, but they're cool. So we have a ton of Scouts dotted along the front line, mixed in with a couple of units of Way Watchers as well. This looks pretty similar to a build I've taken before, actually. We have some Wild Riders, looks like 2 units, in fact, who are going to be actually... Oh no, they are going to be waiting on the wings here. I thought they might be going for a full kind of behind enemy deployment zone attempt. For the forces of Vulcanos here, on the back foot, but certainly trying to scrap this one out with the Vampirates. We have Zombie Pirate Deckhand Mob Polearms dotted all the way along the front line, with the basic mobs as well holding down at the flanks. We have a nice central core here, as we have Deck Gunners, which are used quite heavily in this matchup because their huge range of 245 really helps them counter shoot the Wood Elves in general. We have Zombie Pirate Gunnery mobs as well as Shade Wraith Gunners in the centre. And something I'm a huge fan of here is the double Morngulls. These guys can beat down Dryads very effectively and are going to be a good counter to a lot of this build. However, they do only come in with 30 armour, which is pretty pathetic all round. but they're going to be jumping in, trying to do some damage. We have double Scurvy Dogs being used as a backline protection tool at the moment. They'll be darting forward, no doubt, trying to hunt down scouts and Waywatchers. We have a single mortar, we have Feldbats up in the skies, and we of course have the dreaded Count Noculus. I mean, vampires honestly have pretty good lords all round, but Count Noculus is certainly one of the top ones with Luther Harkin, coming in with Captain Roth's Moondial. We have Wraithstorm, Invocation of Nahek, Drowned Dead, all the standard stuff you expect to see. Should be a fun game. Can the vampires hold and keep that centre pocket alive long enough for it to do some serious damage? Raptor, I've seen your message. No depth guard polearms. Sad face indeed. But let's go. Would be good to have another human faction. Indeed, I'm 99% sure Kislev at some point will get some kind of DLC, but I don't think till Game 3. Some big cannon shots coming in on top of the Dryads here, butchering those poor elf ladies pretty badly. They're doing some decent damage out the gate, but you know, they were one of the cheaper units, I suppose, and the most expendable in this Wood Elf build, although they are still important. They do need to shut down a lot of these troops. Vulcanos does come in, and it does not destroy one of the mortars. That's the kind of gamble of the Vulcanos. Sometimes it doesn't, unfortunately, get those connections. Dryads getting obliterated on the way in here. It's going to cause a little bit of a problem. Other units are pushing in. Lovely play by Vulcanos as well, pushing forward his polearms a little bit to keep a nice distance between them and the central pocket. Dryads should be able to sneak through some of the gaps, but then of course we have the Morngulls waiting for them. Looks like the Waywatchers and Deepwood Scouts are now unleashing hell. However, the Waywatchers taking a huge amount of damage in return from the Shade Wraith Gunners is pretty scary stuff. But double Waywatchers aiming at Count Noculus, who has a brave enough runner popped on him, taking massive damage. But remember guys, he can use an Invocation in the Heck and simply heal this up. Dryads have engaged in the front line, but due to the crumbling nature of undead, the pirate mobs will be able to hold for a decent time. Wild Riders darting through the back line, being force-clicked. I can feel the spamming of click by Dacta here, as he's actually going to crumple in the back of the deckhand mobs before pulling through. Lovely recovery. He tried sneaking in, realised he was going to get pushed out by the Mongols, and slammed back through the front line. Beautiful stuff there. Blade Lady is taking an absolute hammering as well, although the gunning mobs do get hit pretty hard by a pendulum. Over on this flank, looks like Deepwood Scouts slightly less harassed. Going to try and help crumble down this side. Night Terrors, however, are beating up some Wild Riders. These Deepwood Scouts need to target down those naked terrors to try and finish them off. Blade Lady is running for the hills, but should be able to come back. Fellbats are swooping on Deepwood Scouts, and the Scurvy Dogs are loose. Without the Wild Riders to protect them, the Scurvy Dogs are going to be a nightmare. But it looks like Wild Riders are actually going to be able to pull back here, try and save the day. Deepwood Scouts unleashing shot after shot, and it looks like deck gunners are pretty much done for. Count Noculus as well is getting pretty low as the Waywatchers try to punish him where possible. It looks like one unit has been forced off despite a Earthblood. Blade Lady has returned to the field as well. Might also be worth chucking an arrows of Kurnos into Count Noculus as well. On this left-hand flank, you can see the Night Terrors are being focus fired down now, but the Scurvy Dogs are loose. Lovely play by Vulcanos, keeping these guys in the back pocket, waiting for the Wild Riders to be dealt with. But saying that, the Wild Riders do return. They hear their name and decide they need to come back here. And on the charge, even with such few models, they can do some really decent damage all round. Looking pretty bleak though, I think, for the Werewolves overall. Their kind of hammering charge did just get a little bit pounded down. Their build was kind of a mixture between a rush and an archer build. It looks like they are going to get pulled down a little bit. But it looks like an early concede by Dacta, but I think at that point the game was pretty much over. Great play by both these players, and it is going to be going to Game 3. Some really nice Wild Rider micro, but in the end it wasn't quite enough. GG. Gotta love Coast. Yeah, Coast are probably the most hated faction in the game. Probably just because they are the most powerful faction, I think. They still certainly have counters and stuff, and they're not unbeatable by any means. But yeah, they have a weird relationship with people in the community. So, let's go to our next map, which is Herot Ridge. So, Vulcanos picks 3 and bans 1. Then Dacta bans 1 and picks. Cool. Let us update the scoreboard. And Vulcanos strikes back here. So, it is 1. Oh, which one of these bad boys will meet Showdown in the Great Finals? Should be some good fun. What? Cool. Showtime says he's going to go grab some food, but he's just said to message him when the finals is on. So I'll send him a message now. I'll give him like a little 10-minute warning. I think I might have not updated that, so I think banner rules. Cool. I think that's my fault. Didn't update. I think the rules are what's the name? Aracrastic updated the rules recently, but I don't know if I put them in to change on the DVD Discord. But good stuff. So, cool. Looks like they are good to go. Let's let those guys sort it out. What's up, Zachary? How's it going, man? I saw your message the other day, by the way, to ask to play some games. Unfortunately, I'm guessing we're in different time zones because you sent it at like 3 in the morning. So unfortunately I was asleep at the time. We got an ace match. Yes. Yeah, Steph Master Snickage and his unkillable friends. Tretch would like to have a word. Cool. So we do no pound. Good stuff. Gonna check the stream strength, make sure it's not dropping out. I'm a little paranoid now after what we had before, but looks like we're all good. And these boys do indeed decide. So Vulcanos will pick 3 factions. Dacta will counterpick, ban one of those factions, and then Vulcanos picks his last 2. And rules have recently changed so that you can pick 3 and ban 1. I think, to be honest, it's not particularly unbalanced either way. But yeah, people tend to be changing the rules a little bit. Because Mirka is the territory of the poisonous brethren of the duck. Ah, poison ducky. I see. Yes, we have the rubber duck clan versus the poison clan. Nah, poison duck is a really awesome dude. I was meant to have a best of 5 of him actually, like not that long ago, but it never did come to fruition, unfortunately. Maybe we'll have to put it up on our channel instead. Looks like Vulcanos is going to pick Vampire Counts, Tomb Kings, and High Elves. Nice little selection there. Have to see what Dacta goes for. True. Skaven live here, or do they? What is this Skaven you speak of? Never heard of them myself. Giant rat men seems absurd to me. Absurd, I tell you. Yeah, who's your money on though, guys? Do you reckon the mighty Dacta will be able to claim victory, or will Vulcanos snatch it from his hands? And their winner go to fight Showtime. Showtime, pretty dominant display as well. Seems to be in a good form all round. So he's certainly a tough nut to crack. Of course, as always, the winner of these qualifiers do get put into the grand finals where they'll be duking it out to be season champion. Last season champion was indeed Flying Taco. I can't remember who he took down in the final, but it was some really awesome set of games all round. The rubber was resistant against poison. I suppose that was true. Looks like Norska is going... Norska? Dacta is going to go Norska, which was to be expected, I think. And Vulcanos going High Elves, which is pretty interesting. This is a matchup, I swear, that happens an absolute ton. People tend to counter-pick Norska into High Elves, but I think it's a matchup the High Elf players have kind of come around to. The kind of problem for High Elves, I think, is there's 2 things they really struggle against. That's being swarmed to shut down their archery lines and the like, and that's big creatures. What are Norse great at? Bringing big creatures and swarming. So it seems like an obvious pick, but if you can keep that back line active and firing, you can wreak havoc on the Norscan lines. And also going cav heavy here can work as well. You have to be a bit careful though of those pesky Famir with great weapons and the like, who you may be seeing on the field of battle. Hey, what's up, man? I'm gonna butcher your name, I'm afraid, but Edgy Man. Or Eggman. I'm a terrible at pronunciations, I apologize, but welcome, man. Lovely to have you here. Vulcanos bringing the undead to the yard. Yeah, Double Mammoth honestly can work here. Go like Wolfric and the Regiment of Round one to soak up damage, and you can do some disgusting work. We already saw earlier what's the I think it was Vulcanos, wasn't it, actually, who used the boat from Wolfric, just kind of like tore two units apart. High Elves are very tightly packed, so any kind of wind spells or kind of, I suppose it is kind of like a wind spell, or like pendulum effects, any of that type of stuff, does massive damage to them. So I'm expecting a Law of Shadowcaster probably from Dacta, and certainly Wolfric as well. We'll have to wait and see. Don't worry about it. I apologize, man. Still, my pronunciations are horrible, because I was going to do a book reading of the Shadow King. I actually started it, but I felt like I was butchering the elf names too much. So I do have some exciting news, actually. We may have an audio book on the channel soon, which would be really cool. So I'm actually, it's not really Warhammer related, but it's fantasy related, so I think people might enjoy it. But basically I'm working with a group of writers. I kind of got brought into like a group of writers. They were writing a collection of short stories because they're meant to put on a play, because they're all actors as well. But obviously got cancelled by coronavirus, so instead they're kind of telling different stories via a collection of short stories in a book. And they asked if I fancied writing a short story for them, so I've written a short story, basically. It's pretty cool. It's I don't want to give any spoilers yet, but I'm basically going to ask them if I can record the short story I did and then put it up on the channel. Which I think, is technically good advertising for them for the book, but also kind of lets me put my work out there and let you guys hear some cool fantasy stories for them. I demand Frostworm. There's a really cool build with a Frostworm and a Ferromanticore, like a box build for the Norskins, but it would not be particularly effective up against High Elves. It's kind of more of an anti-undead build. Looks like Dacta is indeed ready. Just waiting on the legendary and mighty Vulcanos. I want a troll. Do you want the king of trolls is the true question. Maybe we'll see Frog, but I think Wolfric's boat's just too good in this matchup to miss out on. Just going to have some lovely water. Need to remind myself so I don't ruin my voice too much. I think we need a nice build as well. You must message him, Raptor. I believe he's your clanmate. And kind of my clanmate as well in a way. DBD, which is the clan I'm part of, an Extreme Meme team, are kind of sister clans. So we just basically all chill out together and we can represent ourselves, represent each other, do whatever we want. It's just a cool kind of pool of players. So yes. Hey, we've got a ton of people watching. Hope you guys are enjoying. If you are, feel free to drop a like if you like. And subscribe if you're new. Total War Warhammer content galore. Try to do about 7 videos a week at the moment, plus a stream or 2 a week. Which is, it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun as well at the same time. And it means I get to basically chat to a ton of people about Warhammer, which is always pretty damn awesome. Ready. Looks like we are good to go in this final showdown of Ultimate Destiny before the true showdown against Showdown in the finals. And here we go. Harrowrot Ridge. Place for Glory. Rather large map all around. Let me quickly check actually Discord. I did send a message to Showdown, but I think I might have been a bit early with my predictions. Cool. Triple Reaver Archers. So, a build I actually have been trying out here. is basically no front line for the High Elves. You just go Cav, you go Line Chariots of Chase, and you go Shadow Warriors, and you basically kite back with a Mage on a Dragon as well. It's really good fun. But anyway, let's pop in and have a little look through Dacta's build. So he does have a Horseman dotted around the front of the line, which can be countered quite heavily by Lyrium Reaver Archers. So, but good pick anyway, can help take down some of the big nasty threats and do some generally good skirmish. Over on the right-hand flank, we have the Beasts of Tashnar, as well as Norscan Warhounds. And for the front line, as is tradition with most Norscan builds, it's going to be a ton of cheap and cheerful Marauders, mixed in with some Marauder Berserkers to help chew through the enemy that little bit quicker. We have Fimir Warriors with great weapons. It looks like 1 unit and 1 unit of the Regiment of Renowned Miststalkers, which of course, that armor sundering and big damage really helps take down the enemy cavalry, whilst your infantry wins the kind of foot game. We have a Fimir Belfiend of Shadows as predicted, coming in with Melkoff's Mystifying Miasma, Enfeebling Foe, and of course Pendulum. And up on top of his mighty steed, we have Wulfric the Wanderer, who's going to be sitting down and just chilling out while his Mammoth does all the hard work for him. He has Hunter Champions as well as Sea Fang, of course. Really solid build. Basically, I'm going to walk forward and I'm going to punch you in the face, which is the way Norse like to play. Now, for the forces of the High Elves, we do indeed have double Lyrium Reaver Archers, which is a good pick, as we said before. They're good at counter-skirmishing, Marauder Horsemen and the like. For the main battle line, we have Silver and Guard, a ton of Silver and Guard actually, mixed in with some Spearmen as well. These guys are going to hold for an absolute age and try and allow the Archers to carry the day here. Archer-wise, we do have double Basic Archer, as well as double Lothran Sea Guard. I was expecting the Regiment Renowned version, but still. Some Spearmen in the back. We have a Mage of Metal, of course, coming with that Plague of Rust, and Techless with Regrowth, Enfeebling Foe, and Net. So his main plan here is you net Wulfric, you Plague of Rust him, and then you shoot him with all your archers, and you breath attack on him with the gigantic Star Dragon floating above the Forcer. Which is a pretty damn good solid plan. So, the Lyrium Reaver Archers are going to be pushing forwards. Looks like these Nautican Warhounds are hidden here, so these guys need to be a little bit careful. And they are going to exchange the first few volleys. Lovely juking by Dacta, though. He's going to be dancing back and forth to minimise the amount of damage he is going to take. And the Reaver Archers are being pulled further and further into the trap of these Norscan Warhounds. The Lyrium Reavers, if they do countercharge, can do some very decent work anyway. It looks like Melkoff's Mystifying Miasma has been popped on one of the units, overcast to give it that extended range, and now the trap is sprung. Warhound's going to be bouncing back. The Lyrium Reavers desperately trying to escape with their slower speed. The Warhounds should be able to catch them, but no! It was a almost perfect trap, but unfortunately for Dacta, he actually attacked the wrong unit, not the slowed unit. Now Melkoff's has run off, and the Warhounds are going to be kind of chasing shadows here. So, lovely play by Dacta overall. So they couldn't quite capitalise there. Looks like his poor Fimir Belfiend as well did take some damage as well from that overcast with a bit of a miscast. We have some Beasts of Tashnar wrapped all the way around now, waiting to try and plunge into that back line. And these Warhounds are going to be pretty pivotal, so they may need to make sure they don't get kited too hard and kind of beat back. So it looks like the Archers once again now going to focus down the Horsemen now that the trap has been kind of compromised here. I'm very kind of interested to see how the snipe attempt goes. If it indeed is going to be a snipe attempt on Wulfric, he may just try to net some of the Berserkers and kind of finish them off very quickly. But I think the net, breath, and archer play on Wulfric could be a good answer here. However, he has a whopping 10,000 health. There's no certainty of kind of killing him. Reaver Archers still doing some good work here. Putting pressure on the Horsemen, doing some decent damage. Once again, though, the Hounds could spring if they need to. I'm just saying, really good luck, have fun and all that good stuff. Looks like the Hounds are going to start bouncing into the back lines here, but Lothran and Seaguard do turn to engage, which is very good map awareness by Vulcanos, keeping an eye on these guys, and he's actually going to get a few free shots before they do continue moving. Lothran and Seaguard as well, pretty decent melee combatants all round. They have that charge defense and stuff, so should be able to hold the line pretty well here. And it looks like the Beasts of Tashnar realise their mistake and like, nope, we're going to peace out here, as the Star Dragon does come in, doing some pretty horrific damage all round. It looks like more Hounds are popping in here, and with all this carnage, it looks like he's even going to throw in a Pendulum as well. Massive damage. Brilliant play by Dacta, pinning in all those Lyrium Reavers and Seaguard with the Hounds, and then whapping them out there with the Pendulum. The boat does come down the line, but it's going to be a bit of a miss. The Dragon is going to be lurking over top of Wulfric now, and we're going to see a big fat breath attack, but Wulfric does plod away, and somehow the Dragon breathes back through itself, but it doesn't get a particularly clean connection. Star Dragon is going to be popping in here now. The Star Dragon is a pretty good answer to Wulfric all round, because it's a big nasty monster which he can't Hunter of Champions. Liam Reaver archers have forced off some of the Warhounds and now putting massive pressure on the Horsemen. Will the High Elves be able to weather the storm? It's looking a little bit bleak actually, with the Beasts kind of ravaging the back lines and Berserkers now getting favourable engagements along the front line. A lot of archers are kind of fleeing and running for the hills, and despite the Horsemen being forced off, they're still letting their presence be known, doing some pretty decent damage here. Star Dragon is trying its best, getting some pretty big damage on Wulfric. The Feeble Foe has been popped down as well. That seems to be a big old tree trunk in the middle. Mist Stalkers, though, could be pretty pivotal here, hopping in and doing damage to the dragon, sundering his armour, all that kind of good stuff. The two mages as well are going to be particularly useful in combat, and Sturmgod desperately trying to hold the line, but Berserkers Marauders will eventually push through. Backline is completely a mess now, as the Beasts and Horsemen and so forth are shutting them down, but Spearmen coming to the aid of the Archers pretty nicely here. But I don't think the Star Dragon's going to be able to do this on his own. He needs to get back up in the air, perhaps get another net down on Wulfric and a big old breath attack. There are going to be some rallying elements of the High Elf build though. Archers are now unleashing shots into the Marauders, and Lothran and Seaguard have raid on this right hand flank. Need to focus down the Fimir as well as the Berserkers, just so many targets unfortunately for them to focus on. Then Ravers doing some good micro here as well, pushing off double units over on the right hand side. It looks like the Beast National have been felled as well. And then Feeble Foe has gone down the Star Dragon, but he simply pops up into the air, waits for it to wear off, and is going to come back in for another slamming attack. Teclis is surrounded by nasty barbarians here, but he should be able to deal with one or two of them. Very close game so far. Looks like a Fimir Belfiend may be in trouble, but nope, Dragon does indeed flop backwards, and surely we're going to see a net here on Wulfric. But no, looks like he has indeed been netted, and in comes a big breath attack and goes straight over top of him. And let's see his health. 5,500 health is going to go down here to 4,600. Some pretty good burst damage. But nothing. I was expecting actually a tiny bit more, but I suppose he did get staggered a bit by the breath. And it looks like the dragon is going to be getting a fat regrowth as well. Lovely boat coming down by Wulfric, chewing through a few more of these spearmen. Lothran and Seaguard are re-engaging though and shooting. However, archers are being torn apart in the back line now that the Liam Reaver's archers are pretty much spent. One more unit desperately trying to get back to help protect. But it looks like Teclis did get caught up, unfortunately, with 100 champions to slow his speed, allowing the Fimir Warriors to really beat him down. And it looks like he may be finished off here, as the Star Dragon is surrounded by Mist Stalkers, not where he wants to be, and he's nearly managed to assassinate Wulfric, but High Elves are kind of fleeing on all accounts and running for the hills. Star Dragon really the only thing keeping them in this fight. That Major Metal is certainly going nowhere, as Wulfric is on the hunt. Now, if Teclis can rally, and he's rather swift here, so perhaps he can. He does have 0 leadership at this point, -3, kind of bouncing around. And if these units aren't remembered by the Norscans, he can come back, and he has indeed. They maybe allow this Star Dragon to stabilise and carry the day. It can certainly clear up a lot of the infantry, but the double Fimir Warriors are kind of the scary element here. Massive breath attack coming down on Wulfric, and down to just 1,400 health. We are going to see a regrowth popped on Teclis. He's used a lot of his Winds of Magic now, but he is one of those characters you can get a ridiculous amount. And it's going to be him and the Star Dragon versus the world for the most part. But with the Mist Stalker still alive, I think it may be a challenge too far here. Liam Reaver archers trying to help clear up some of these Nautican troops so he can rally all his High Elf forces back to the cause. We have some archers here who could do some decent damage still. There's 22 of them, which isn't terrible. The Star Dragon is going to kind of dogpile in here, help finish off some of these units. And the Nautican forces rallying themselves as well. Fantastic game so far, and it's always been a good game when both forces kind of have this second wind and they come back to fight once more. However, the Major Metal, there's no saving her, unfortunately. Well, the Horsemen aren't going to be able to beat her down. And the Norscan forces do now approach at the recently rallied and still shaken High Elf forces. Star Dragon, relatively healthy, does of course want to snipe out Wulfric, but it's kind of a death sentence suicide charge charging in here. I think he has one breath attack left, maybe. If he can get a net, one more net and one breath attack down, he could do some massive damage to Wulfric. We are going to see a little Sea Fang going down the archers, just finish off a unit, which is always good, and kind of take out more and more of the High Elves, trying to push that balance of power more and more in favour of the Norscan forces. Looks like the Star Dragon does manage to run over the Berserkers here, and Liam Reaver's also going in for a charge of Spear and try and hold the line. Teclis is going to leg it as fast as possible. Potion has been popped as well, but 100 champions slowing him down. This Fimir Belfiend struggling so hard, chase him! Melkov's missed a fine. Miasma popped as well. Teclis's speed is dropped to 21 here, and that could be game. Star Dragon is lurking back here, trying its best. If it can perhaps assassinate Wolfric and get a fat tear out, there is still hope yet. And he is coming in for the lovely rear attack on Wolfric. Teclis needs to escape though. He needs to be spam clicking over here as much as possible. And Wolfric starting to waver here, guys. Perhaps the Star Dragon, the mighty beast, can fell the Wanderer himself. Looks like I don't know what the Star Dragon's doing here. Looks like it is going to be getting a regrowth. I think he has to stay and fight realistically. You're not going to be able to pull out, but he needs to make sure he's attacking Wolfric, not getting mucked up against these pesky marauders. As that could be the end for it, unfortunately. Liam Reaver's going to get a nice rear attack here. There's a lot of High Elves rallying in the periphery, trying to come back. They're all kind of little beat-up units of spearmen. Liam Reavers do charge in, but Teclis is currently in a woods duel up against the Fenrir Belfiend, and he's currently terrified as well. Wolfric down to just 800 health. Star Dragon trying to pull out whilst that regrowth is active to heal himself up a little bit more, but he's kind of getting pinned in just by the sheer weight of these crazy berserkers who are currently in their berserk state. And I think that is going to be game, but incredibly close overall. Nearly managing to assassinate Wolfric, who's down to below 1,000 health, which for Wolfric is particularly low. Star Dragon holding firm for now, but it looks like the rest of the High Elf forces have completely broken and kind of run from the field. And this dragon has been enfeebling foe as well, to kind of just rub salt into the wounds and really help finish off the scaly beasts. Lion Chariots certainly aren't broken. They're considered by most not to be fantastic, to be honest. But I personally quite like them in some matchups, mainly because I forget my Chariots a lot in combat, and they're pretty tanky. But very well played to Dacta there. Going to be taking this series 2-1 and having his ultimate showdown. Again, the showdown in the finals here is a pretty simple Norscan build all round. Just kind of pushed through, ground down the enemy, and overwhelmed the High Elf forces. Although fantastic Illyrian Reaver play, as well as the classic regrowth Star Dragon, nearly pulled it out for Vulcanos there. Norscan, what a faction. GG. Very close. Cool. We'll get showdown here and get underway. What's up, Logic_EU, the man, the myth, the legend. Walt of Salt, Norska! Norska indeed. For those who don't know and are interested in campaign footage, Logic_EU is actually my housemate. And he's recently started streaming Total War content, mainly, pretty much all campaigns, I think. So feel free, if you do enjoy campaigns, go over, show him some love, and check out his stuff. I'm sure he'll greatly appreciate it. So, let's message Showtime. Awesome. It's time. Cool. So let's update the scoreboard quickly. And this final, of course, is going to be best of 5. So update the score very quickly there, just to show you what happened. So it is a 2-1 victory there for the mighty Dacta. Very well played to Vulcanos, and once again, he's also a YouTuber, so feel free to go check out his stuff as well. Fantastic multiplayer player and caster. So let us keep the right text the same, and change Vulcanos' name here to Showtime. And then we'll update the scores. Go back to 0. Boop. And we're back. Cool. The maps for this are going to be Ashenhall first. Oh no, they're called something different from what I'm remembering. Is it not Ashenhall? Is it multiplayer Ashenhall? Oh no, what is this map? Go. He can't find the lobby, so I'll add him as a friend and invite him. And there we go. And I quickly need to update this as well. Cool, I'm just going to update challenge, so these guys are in the correct positions. As long as challenge wants to pay attention, and then I'll come chill out with you guys for a while. Cool, so that has been updated. Yes, GG well played, Dacta. Vulcanos, man. You played like an absolute beast, honestly. Very well played. Nearly pulled that back with the assassination as well. I think if the first breath attack had been thrown up in net, you probably would have killed Wolfric in the end, and the whole game could have been kind of turned around, which would have been some crazy stuff. Cool. Just sent him a friend request, and we'll get him in here. Let's see if I've added him yet. And I need to quickly look up this map. Representing indeed. I swear there was a map called like Ashenhall. Hey. Is it not? Where is it? I'm assuming you guys know the map I mean. It's like a Wood Elf map. Where are you? Oh, no, oh, there it is. The Ashenhall. Oh. Yep. Maps will be Ashenhall for map 1. Schwarzerhafen, Alpine Ridge, Plot of Bone, and Valley of Thieves. Yeah, we can load and sit. Cool. I think they want us to load in, have a little look at the map. Yes, specify finals indeed. Oh yeah, they were some good games, the Blackthorne. Well played you yourself earlier as well. Been a true champion stepping up. Map 5, Mirror Decider. Oh, let's quickly load in so these guys can see the map. So this isn't actually the guys playing. They're just going to have a little look around and see what the map is like. There's a lot of tree terrain, lots of hills, and a sneaky place where you can actually hide really large creatures underground, which is quite funny. But yes. Yeah, if you guys are enjoying, feel free, I know I've said it multiple times already, but feel free to give the video a big old thumbs up. If you want to support, there are kind of ways to do that via super chats and via links down below and all that kind of standard YouTubey stuff. And here we are, the Ashenhall. I quite like it as a map. It's lots of trees and lots of hills basically. I like this mighty showdown as we have a Marauder Chieftain take on a Night Goblin War Boss in the grand finals here. A very strange map. It is a very strange map indeed. There's kind of a big shot blocker in the middle. Hills on both sides though, and trees on both sides, so it's relatively well balanced in my opinion. And kind of a nice open centre pocket as well. Crushing defeat apparently there. Cool. So yes, the Ashenhall will be first, then Schwarzerhafen, Alpine Ridge, Pillar of Bone, Valley of Thieves, which are all, more, I suppose, traditional multiplayer maps. This is one I'm trying to move in. It's a direct victory, 1-0, right? Mwahaha. It's the first direct defeat I've ever had. Gonna withdraw in shame. And shamed you shall be. Hey, Mr. Flying Taco, the current reigning champ of Death Before Dishonour after winning last season. How's it going? Looks like he's here representing Extreme Meme Team and Dacta. It's a Wood Elf map and the Wood Elf main has never seen it. It's true. They decide to duel. Fight like men. Showtime going Empire, banning at Dowie and Greenskins. Oh no, Dacta! No! What are you doing, you foul undead player? You were meant to destroy the Sith, not join them. Or destroy the undead. Instead, he's coming with Vampire Counts, the Wood Elf main, betraying his roots. And, I mean, Wood Elves vs Empire on a glorious Wood Elf map would have made some good stuff. We are going to see the undead in action. My favourite map. I think it was you. There's someone hid there's a point on the map. The one problem with this map is there's a clump of trees somewhere around here, I think on the right hand side, where for some reason if you place stuff on it, it like sinks. And someone hit a Titan on it and the whole Titan sunk. I mean, when you get close enough it pops up, but this like Titan just appeared out of nowhere on my screen, like mid-stream. It was pretty awesome. Yeah, the free, the potholes. The man, the myth, the taco, indeed. The champ comes. But there's going to be a new contender here. And it's either going to be Dacta or Showtime. Oh, Showtime, not Showdown. What did I put it as on the... Oh, I did do Showtime. Oh, okay. I'm not too much of an idiot. But yes, the glory. The glory, the fame. Shall only be for one, though, however. And, you know... This is the first time we've seen it Showtime on the channel, I believe. Dacta has originally gotten 2 grand finals before, I believe, and definitely got to multiple amounts of finals and semi-finals in the Death Before Dishonored tournaments. So he's a very prolific fighter and a particularly good Wood Elf player, but a very good player all round. So excited to see him in action here. Raptor! Yes, and this wasn't a map picked by Raptor, unfortunately. Those maps are going to be held for King of the Hills, which, Raptor, I need to speak to you about, actually. I have a King of the Hill stream in mind for very early next month, and I'm going to need your help picking some maps and stuff, I believe. So we can scheme after this is over. Anyway, for the forces of Dacta and the Vampire Counts here, the dreaded undead, probably the weakest of the undead factions, but still, some people do deem to love them. We have Skeleton Warriors mixed in with zombies in the front battle line. So no Graveguard by the looks of it. But zombies, what a good old-fashioned undead build would it be without the loyal backbone of zombies just kind of muttering to themselves and blobbing around the battlefield, there to absorb damage while the rest of the army is the heavy hitters. Up in the skies, accompanied by some fell bats, we do have a Blood Dragon Vampire Lord, one of the most often picked lords, and that's simply because of Helm of Discord. Such a powerful hex ability, minus 24 melee defense and melee attack. We have Raised Dead, Dance Macabre, Invocation of Nehek, all the good stuff you expect from the mighty Flying Beast. We do have a Vargulf as well. If I'm not mistaken, we should somewhere have a ton of Blood Knights. And it looks like we do indeed. We have double Blood Knights. In fact, triple Blood Knights. Oh, Dacta, you champ. Coming in with the dreaded triple Blood Knights. Can certainly pack a punch, but he's had to go very cheap on his infantry core. The main way to deal with a build like this, in my opinion, is you kill all the infantry first, and then you isolate and kind of take down the bigger threats. Looks like he also has some direwolves hidden there in the trees. Now, for the forces of the Empire, we do have double Outriders, which are going to be able to do some pretty decent AP damage to some of those big nasty monsters. And then we have an unbreakable front line of the most fanatical of all of Sigma's worshippers, Flagellants, as well as Sigma Sons in the battle line. Looks like with some Spearmen guarding the flanks. We have Volkmar the Grim, who's going to absolutely love tearing through all the chaff. Will, of course, struggle up against Blood Knights and the like. Then we have Demigryph Knights with Halberds. 3 units, in fact. One looks like they're actually standard, but 2 with Halberds. And 3 Demigryphs versus 3 Blood Knights is certainly going to be a blast. We have a Bright Wizard as well, coming with Burning Head, Flaming Sword Rune, and Fireball. But no healing for the Demigryphs, whereas, of course, the Undead can indeed heal. No! The game seems to have frozen. Looks like these guys having a little bit of lag problems. Hopefully this will clear up in a second. We've had both of them in the semi-finals and it was fine. So hopefully it will settle down in just a second. Worst comes to worst, we can just re-go again with the same builds on the same map. No. Hopefully it's not me. Hopefully the stream's still going. I don't want to cut out of the battle here to try and see if the stream's still on, as that would be a bit of a nightmare if it lags out. Let's see. I'll check on my phone if the stream's still up and running. Cool, yeah, we can't message. So hopefully the stream's all up and alive. Please let me know if it is, because that way I'll be able to tell if it's an internet issue on our end or if these guys are just lagging against each other. Oh, looks like they are going. No, just massive lag, and we're back. Okay, that was very bizarre there. Hopefully we don't have that anymore. It looks like there's not even like any spikes anymore. They seem to be completely fine. Well, who knows? Well, the battle is back underway. Sorry about that, guys. Looks like we are back in action here. As the Outriders do pistol down some poor Fellbats here, who certainly didn't ask for this kind of lifestyle. Those Outriders are certainly going to have to do a good job on these Blood Knights, and they are a fantastic counter to them as well. Demigryphs are aching forwards here as well, having a little look around to see what's going on. Looks like the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord coming with an early breath attack, but the Demigryph Knights, very aware of this, do manage to fall back. Looks like a couple of those poor men, though, did get butchered, but still a pretty decent dodge for the most part, as the men of the Empire do start to advance, trying to push through the tree line here. Blood Knights are going to be pushing up the hill, towards the Outriders, in fact. Looks like Direwolves have been hunting them off, but some Demigryph Knights going to be coming in for a lovely rear charge, should be able to pick apart the Direwolves if they can catch them. Direwolves are fleeing to all corners of the battlefield here. Blood Knights coming for a frontal charge here, knowing that some of the Demigryphs are offline, and bouncing them, doing some pretty decent work to Cygnus Suns. Demigryph Knights do get a glorious counter charge, and fun story, the Demigryph Knights with Lancers are better at killing cavalry models than the Halberds, which I know seems a little bit odd, but Halberds are better against the large kind of monsters and the like, whereas Lancers are actually better against infantry as well as cavalry, which is something I learned not too long ago, so you know, the more you know. This is a brilliant play by Dacta, by the way. So he's managed to isolate one unit of Demigryph Knights, which overchased into the Direwolves, and then he's going to pick them off, come in with a summon, I think. Oh no, it looks like the summon was cancelled there. So he was going to try and summon, and he's trying to pin in these Demigryph Knights and do some damage to them, but they keep kind of bouncing back and forth here. We do have a Flaming Sword of Ruin come down on Showtime to give these guys a little bit better damage output as well as fire damage, and now they're going to focus down the Varghulf, who of course has a weakness to fire, so if these guys are allowed to shoot, they're going to do some crazy damage, but it looks like the Fellbats are having none of this and decided to turn around with a raised dead as well as zombies to really try and shut these guys down, and I don't think they've got a single volley off yet with that extra damage. Demigryph Knights do take a massive breath attack, and it looks like we're also going to be getting a fireball coming down the line. But you know, it's onto a Blood Knights. They're not going to take too much damage from this. It will help clear up these Skeleton Warriors, however, as Vulcanos does his divine judgment down there and tries to run away, but he's in a pretty tricky situation. Outriders are alive and active, but these Fellbats have been doing some pretty decent work keeping them pushed back. I love the idea, though, of the Flaming Sword of Ruin combined with those guys to deal with the Varghulf, but unfortunately it wasn't timed quite well. It was more counter-pushed, I suppose, by Dacta. Flagelants are clearing up the ground forces here, but the Blood Knights are looking particularly healthy. The Demigryphs getting themselves in some very bad engagements have been forced off here, all three units, which I think spells disaster here for the force of the Empire. There's simply nothing now left to stop the Blood Knights, and these Fellbats and Hounds can chase and rout all these troops off quite comfortably and push them back. Even the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord is going to hunt them down, and Dacta will be coming in there with the 1-0. I feel this game sometimes punishes infantry units. Yeah, heavy infantry builds can be very powerful, but they do also kind of suffer sometimes as well, simply due to the amount of magic and range and big monsters people can bring. Really fun builds, great ideas by both players. I was really excited to see the Blood Knights against the Demigryphs, but basically better map control by Dacta in the end. He managed to isolate the Demoglyphs, get the engagements he wanted, and even when Showtime nearly pulled off an awesome strat here, coming with the Bright Wizard to buff up the Outriders, which would have butchered that poor Vargulf very quickly, they got forced back and he couldn't quite capitalise, but GG's. GG. Free Blood Knight's so hard, yeah, it plays down counters as Empire counter. Right, next map is going to be Schwesterhafen. Oh, I did GG. So, Schwarzenhafen up next. Dacta is going Coast, Bannon, High Elves, and Dowie. Knowing he's got Empire out the way, that is a pretty nasty pick by Dacta. Should certainly do some good work. Khabib or... I'm sorry, Hatter House? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Are those two character names? Yes, GG indeed. Yeah, sorry about the little lag spike there. Not sure what went on. We've had both the guys on the semi-finals and they're fine, so it may just be those two connecting between each other. Who knows? Our internet can occasionally as well spike, like very rarely, so hopefully it's not too much. We're going to see Wood Elves here. Awesome. Showtime bringing the Wood Elves. And as we saw earlier, the Wood Elves did get put down by some vampires, but perhaps Showtime has a few aces up his sleeve.